Hey you, fellow Tarnished. I am not here to show you some OP one-shot meta build. No, not today. I am here to show you not one, but 8 different fun, unique, and weird builds. You guys asked for this. Well, one guy did. This dude asked for it. So, let's jump right into it. Starting right off, the Swift Swordsman. This is not a ninja, and this is not a samurai. No, this is a combination of both, baby. Something I know we've always dreamed of. This build uses multiple weapons and skills for a diverse and lightning-fast playstyle. I'm carrying at least 3 to 4 different katanas that I swap in and out to use varying attacks. Each katana has a different weapon skill you could call jutsu. So we got fire style jutsu in the form of flaming strike and flame of red mains. We got lightning with the thunderbolt and this goat thing. I don't know of any self-respecting samurai who would do this, but okay. We got Earth style with the meteoric blade. We even got the infamous black flames of Amaterasu. You can use whatever you want though, dude. Customized to your preference. It's all about having multiple different attacks, switching them up, and combining them together. Of course, a ninja samurai will also use throwing knives and other tools. I even got disappearing smoke here too. Look, I throw down my smoke, you pass out, and I disappear. So when you wake up, I'm gone. Boom, disappearing smoke. But instead of running away while the enemy is asleep, you can bonk them real hard right in the fucking face like my father used to do to me. This is mainly a dexterity build, but you do want a high endurance. Not only so you can carry multiple weapons, but also because in order to be fast, we use up a lot of stamina. Shard of Alexander, the Green Turtle Talisman, Tree Favor. Ninja use nunchucks, right? Would you consider these nunchucks? Moving forward, number 7. The Bubble Boy has evolved into the Booble Knight. I'm sure you've all heard about this build before, but today I will show you the most powerful version of the bubble build that I could come up with. So let's see if it actually ends up being viable or not. There are 3 of these bubble weapons, and they are all trash besides this one, the Envoy's Horn. Oh, nope, not that one. The Envoy's Longhorn blows a giant pool of bubbles that gently, but menacingly, float towards the enemy. The bubble attack is straight holy damage and it scales with faith. So using a high faith level, this weapon skill can shred a larger boss. This bad boy can deal up to 92 poise damage with one attack. Because it is holy damage, you can buff it using Holy Shrouded Cracked Tear and the Sacred Scorpion Charm. You can buff it even more by wearing this giant tumor of a helmet, the Envoy Crown, which will increase your bubble damage by 15%. So the truth is, the Bubble Shower is effective against bigger enemies or groups of enemies, but for individuals, not so much. I mean, it'll kill them, but it's very slow and just unnecessary, which is why I got the Cypher Pada as a side weapon. This is great for attacking individual enemies, it's lightweight and fast. You can easily swap back and forth from the Longhorn to the dual Cypher Pada. Plus, it deals straight holy damage and has an A tier scaling in Faith. So yeah, it's a perfect fit here. You can engage with the Bubble Shower, then take out any stragglers with the Cypher Pada. Wait, hold up, look at that. Oh my god, both of his daggers are stuck in my chest. Dude, I need a doctor. Because we have a high faith, of course, we can use the healing or buff incantations like Golden Vow and Tree Heal. But unfortunately, the Golden Order spells are intelligence based, so we don't have many options for holy damage here. However, we do have this Bubble Boy Golden Shockwave. This is a game breaker, dude. We hit the jackpot with this one. Watch out! So if you focus on faith scaling and holy damage, then yeah, this build can actually work. Yep, it is indeed viable. I got the strength soft cap at level 25, then got my faith level as high as possible. Holy Scorpion Charm and Tree Favor. Number 6, the Twin Grim Reaper. Dual Grave Scythe build. I mean, I'm surprised I haven't talked about this before. This build is freaking great. First of all, the Dual Reaper moveset is awesome. Some real spanker jump attacks right here. Plus, the Grave Scythe are very good at inflicting passive effects. It already comes straight out the gate with innate bleed. Then, you can add a combination of frost and or poison on top of that. My recommended setup for this build is to use Chilling Mist on your offhand scythe and Royal Knight's Resolve on your main hand. Inflicting Frost will debuff the enemy, then use Royal Knight's Resolve to buff your jump attacks even more, then you slap them silly. You could swap out the Frost and use Poison instead. Same strategy as the Frost, but use the Poison Mist weapon art and get them choking real nice on your fart clouds. With this strategy, you'll be inflicting poison and proccing blood loss very often. This will activate both the Lord of Blood Exaltation and the Rot Exaltation together, giving you a huge damage boost. Of course, there's plenty of other weapon arts to choose from, such as Stormcaller, Phantom Slash, or Loretta's Slash, but I prefer Royal Knight's Resolve, so I can really zone in on the jump attacks and get them as strong as possible. So yeah, Blood Infused with RKR on the main hand, then Cold Infused with Chilling Mist, or Poison Infused with Poison Mist on the offhand. Focus on your strength level with a bit of Arcane. Number 5, the Double Dragon, going full on dragon mode, but I'm talking about actually using all of the dragon spells, and not only the insanely powerful Scarlet Rot Breath, because we also got Frost Breath, Blue Fire, Magma, and we got the Giant Dragon Smackdown too. The weapon I'm using is the Regalia Straight Sword. The main reason is because this bad boy scales with Arcane. The weapon art will deal massive damage when you have a high Arcane level. Because the Dragon Breath spells have a huge FP cost, that is how they balance these things out. They are extremely strong, but use all of your FP. The Cerulean Tear will give me unlimited FP, so I can blast away. The Dragon Claw is meant to be more of a fast attack for smaller enemies, but the Dragon Maw, this thing is how you really lay the smackdown. It's perfect on a boss because it deals great poise damage and has insane hyper armor. This spell is a tank. Arcane is the priority, so I got 50 Arcane and 35 Faith. Flock's Canvas Talisman, Shard of Alexander, and at least one successive attack talisman for the weapon art. Number 4, Ninja Turtle. We got the Turtle Shell and as much endurance as you need in order to light roll. Basically, we just ignore our vigor and throw all levels into endurance and dexterity or strength. This means you can roll around like a flopping fairy, but you got very low health. A couple good hits and you are done for, so you better be quick on your feet. To help with this, we got the Turtle Shell in our offhand. This will increase our stamina recovery speed. Combined with the Green Turtle Talisman and you're freaking zooming. I like to use a Cold Infused Katana with Cragblade. That can pump out some decent damage, and there's no blood loss involved here, okay? We got no bleed, just frost. I'm gonna be honest though, the only real benefit of this build is being able to light roll. Like, that's really it. But it is fun. It can be fun and challenging. And making things difficult equals more fun to people like us. Basically, this build strips you down to nothing but your dodge roll and your weapon. It's one of those challenge builds that you can experiment with at any time. Green Turtle Talisman, great jar to give me light roll, and a successive attack buff. Now entering our top 3. Third place, Enchanted Warrior. See, this is very different from our previous swordsman build because this one does not use any weapons at all. I'm only using double staff and only casting weapon-like sorceries. So, Carrion Slicer, Piercer, Adula's Moonblade, but also the Magic Bonk and the Magic Great Bow, because those are actual weapons too. So they are permitted, but nothing else. No other sorceries apply here. I don't know if it's just me, but there's a certain thrill in knowing you're not carrying any actual melee weapons, nor shields. All your attacks are spell-based, and therefore your playstyle really needs to adapt. The optimal setup here is dual-wielding Carrion Glintstone Staves for a 30% damage boost to all sword spells. But if you don't have 2 of them, then you can also use the Carrion Regal Scepter, Azure Staff, or Lusat Staff. My preferred setup is the Carrion Glintstone with the Azure Staff, because the speed is very important here since we have no melee weapons. You can get some mean combos with these spells. Adula's Moonblade into Carrion Slicer, the Magic Hammer followed up by Carrion Piercer. Now see, that's a double knockdown. You slap her once, then come back with the backhand and you slap her again. I know, people have made similar builds to this, but with mine here, we're going all in on the sorceries. We're saying, fuck everything else. I don't need a sword, I don't need a shield. I only need my carrion slicer, baby. Carrion slicer and the magic bonk. That's it. You for sure want the Radagon icon and the Graven Mass talisman. In the last video, I had a Knight's Cavalry build, so in this video, I gotta show you an even better, an even stronger, and even more cosplay of a cosplay build. In second place, the Crucible Knight. I mean, look at this, I am straight bullying Melania with all the smackdowns. First of all, the Crucible Knight armor is A1, peak armor design right here. Then the game gives us a couple Crucible Knight weapons, which are great, and a few Crucible incantations, which are also great. The Ordavis Greatsword and the Siluria's Tree. Some people prefer the Greatsword. Yes, it is very good for dealing poise damage. Actually, the Greatsword was definitely viable in PvP. It has a solid hyper armor, you can tank through most attacks. Plus, when you charge the Vortex, it has a ripple effect on the ground explosion, which is very effective to stagger. But the Siluria's Tree, this weapon art is a beast, man. Its weapon skill makes my jingle bells jingle, you know what I'm saying? Because of its long reach, it can still do heavy damage from a safe distance. It's the only real long-range attack we have as a Crucible Knight. The Spear and the Greatsword are both good in their own right though. I recommend just using both and swapping between the two. Moving on to the Crucible incantations. First up, we got the Tail Whip spell. I've even used this on other builds for a close attack option. It's cool to have a dragon tail. Next up, we got the Frog Breath spell, which I would consider to be the worst spell out of the three, but I mean, I guess can be good in certain situations because it can stagger lock smaller enemies. And lastly, the Horn Charge spell. Here's what you do with this spell. You find an unsuspecting enemy, you walk right up behind it, yeah, right there, and boom, yeah baby.
Yeah baby.
Nah, for real though, with this, if you land the charge attack, follow it right up with the tail whip while the enemy is still recovering. A perfect whack and slap combo. Wearing the full set gives a 17% increase to Crucible incantations. All the weapon skills and incantations can be charged up, so definitely use Godfrey's icon. We have finally come to our number one spot. I have spent hours fine-tuning and perfecting this build, and I think it came out pretty damn good. The Iron Mech build. This is to help y'all get ready for the new Armored Core game. Here's how it works. Step 1, use the Iron Jar Aromatic, which will give you that big dick energy so you can tank through most attacks. Step 2, drink the Cerulean Hidden Tear from your flask, so you have unlimited FP. Step 3, fire away with Unendurable Frenzy. This incantation will continue to fire until your madness bar fills up or you run out of FP. So we do everything we can to mitigate this and continue blasting as long as possible. And just so you're not shit out of luck, once the initial burst runs out, I got dual coated swords, or the Cypher Pada. I imagine these to be laser swords, like melee laser beams, so it fits the robot mech theme here. You can also use any other incantations you consider to fit the mech theme. In order to make this work, we use the Clarifying Horn Charm and the Clarifying Cured Meat to resist the madness buildup. Then we got the Bogo's Talisman and Heavy Armor for extra poise. We also want a lot of vigor, because we need health so we can survive tanking through all the attacks. Cerulean Hidden Tear, and there you have it. You've got your very own Iron Mech. Please tell me your honest opinion of the video, comment your thoughts, and join the conversation down below. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you later.